What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple copper coin minted over 60 years ago, could be your ticket to a life of financial freedom? A 1961 Lincoln penny with a tiny D under the date recently sold for over $844,000. That's not a typo. One cent, nearly $1 million. That same coin might be hiding inside your drawer, your old piggy bank, or even in your father's coin jar. And the craziest part? Most people throw it away without ever knowing that. In this video, we're going deep. We'll explore how a common-looking 1961 D penny became a millionaire maker, what makes it rare, how to spot the fortune in your own hands, and what separates a regular cent from one that can change your life. So don't blink. Because missing this information could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's begin. The 1961 D Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest in the country at the time. Over 1.75 billion of these coins were produced. That means it's a very common coin, right? Not so fast. Within that massive production run, a few coins slipped through the cracks. Coins with minting errors, unusual conditions, and striking details that turned them into hidden treasures. Like needles in a haystack, but instead of hay, it's copper. Now here's where it gets interesting. During the early 1960s, the mint was under pressure. Machines ran faster, quality checks were rushed, and a few mistakes became million-dollar miracles. There's a strange irony here, isn't there? A coin made in a rush, considered ordinary, now becomes a once-in-a-lifetime jackpot. Like finding a Picasso painting at a yard sale, makes you wonder, what else have we overlooked in our everyday lives? Let's talk money. Point 1. Exceptional 1961 D penny in mint state condition, flawless, untouched by time, sold for an astonishing $844,000. That's enough to pay off your mortgage, retire early, or start a new life altogether. So what made that penny special? Full red color. Most copper coins darken over time. But this one kept its vibrant red tone, a sign it was preserved in pristine condition, high grade, graded MS67 or above by a professional coin grading service. That means it's virtually perfect under magnification, possible error or variety. Some rare 1961 D coins have die doubling, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes, each adding tremendous value. When was the last time you checked your old coin jar? If your answer is, never, well, that might be the most expensive decision of your life. But back to the facts. Most valuable 1961 D pennies are either in uncirculated rolls or were set aside unknowingly by collectors decades ago. But some still float around. That means one could land in your change, even today. Scary, isn't it? That millions of Americans might be holding a fortune without even knowing. Now let's get practical. How can you tell if you have a valuable 1961 D penny? Check for the D mint mark under the date. No D. Then it's from Philadelphia, still collectible, but not the one we're targeting. Examine the color. If it's red and shiny, almost like it was minted yesterday, you might have something special. Look for errors. Use a magnifying glass. Doubling on the date or the mint mark is a major signal of value. Get it graded. If you believe your coin is in superb condition, send it to a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A coin graded MS67 or higher can sell for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Protect and store. Use gloves when handling your coin. Keep it in a protective case. The last thing you want is to damage something worth more than your car. Here's where things get real. Coins like these don't just create wealth, they change lives. People have paid for college, cleared medical debt, even opened businesses, all from a single coin they never thought twice about. And here's your cliffhanger. There's another penny from the same era, also common, that's been turning heads in auctions and maybe even more valuable than the 1961 D. But that's a story for our next video. You've just discovered how a simple penny could be the secret to unlocking the life you've always wanted, not because it's magic, but because knowledge is power, and timing is everything. Now, take a deep breath. Because this is not a fantasy. Today, we're diving into the jaw-dropping story of the 1964 D Lincoln penny. One that looks just like the millions of others in circulation, but has sold for up to $840,000 in the current market. And yes, you might already own one without even knowing it. Think that sounds too good to be true? Well, keep watching. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the rare version of the 1964 D penny, and how this humble 1-cent coin could be your ticket to living the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. But first, let me ask you, when was the last time you really looked at your pocket change? Most people toss their pennies aside, assuming they're worthless. They sit in drawers, jars, and boxes collecting dust. But the truth is, some of these coins are quietly collecting value, and here's the scary part: thousands of people have unknowingly spent rare pennies at gas stations or dropped them into vending machines. Some of those pennies were worth thousands, even millions. Don't let that be you. Let's rewind to 1964. The United States Mint was producing Lincoln pennies in large numbers. Over 3 billion were struck that year. So why is this one particular coin so valuable? The secret lies in the D Mint mark, standing for Denver. Most 1964 D pennies are ordinary, but a few select ones were struck with errors, double dies, or made using different planchets, and that's where the story begins to change. Imagine a mint worker, under pressure to meet deadlines, making a tiny mistake on a die. That microscopic error can turn a common coin into a legendary rarity, and when collectors and investors discover these rare variants, they are willing to pay a fortune. Let me put it this way: one specific 1964 D Lincoln penny, verified and graded by professionals, was recently valued at $840,000. That's nearly $1 million for a coin you could find in a jar of change. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, $840,000. Still think pennies are worthless? Now let me break the tension with a quick joke. If your wallet could talk and knew what that penny was worth, it would never let you spend it at the laundromat again. But this is no laughing matter when it comes to your future wealth. So, how can you tell if your 1964 D penny is the jackpot? Number 1. Check for the D Mint mark below the year on the front of the coin. If it's there, you're one step closer. Number 2, look for double die errors. This means the design appears slightly doubled, especially around Lincoln's I, the date, or the word liberty. Number 3, examine the weight and the rim. A few rare 1964 D pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets instead of copper. These weigh slightly less and have a different metallic shine. Number 4, condition is everything. The better preserved the coin, the more it can sell for. Coins that have been untouched or are in near mint condition are extremely valuable. Now, here's the kicker: many of these signs are invisible to the naked eye. You'll want a magnifying glass and good lighting. And if you think you found something, get it professionally graded. There are stories of people tossing these coins away, only to find out years later they were worth hundreds of thousands. Let that sink in. What if that's already happened to you? What if the rare coin that could change your life is sitting in a cup holder in your car right now? Scary, isn't it? Let's talk about action, because knowing is one thing, but acting on that knowledge is what creates real wealth. If you find a 1964 D Lincoln penny with any of the signs we've mentioned, do not try to clean it. That can destroy its value. Step 1, place it in a coin sleeve or protective plastic case. Step 2, research reputable coin grading services. The top names are PCGS and NGC. These companies can authenticate and grade your coin officially. Step 3, once graded, you can list your coin at an auction house, a specialized rare coin dealer, or online marketplaces where serious collectors are buying. And here's the most exciting part: the demand for rare coins is growing. Wealthy collectors are actively hunting for coins like the 1964 D penny. That demand pushes prices up and creates an opportunity for people like you to step into a market most Americans ignore. Let me ask you, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow, sold a penny for $840,000, and had that money wired to your bank account? Would you pay off your debts? Retire early? Travel the world? It's not a pipe dream. It's happening to people every year. So the next time you see an old penny, don't toss it aside. That tiny copper coin could be your golden ticket. Go through your drawers, jars, and old wallets. Share this video with someone who might be sitting on a fortune without knowing it, because at the end of the day, the difference between an ordinary life and a life of financial freedom might just be one penny away. Your future is in your hands, maybe even in your pocket. Now go check, and remember, sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest value. Equals because somewhere in America, an ordinary-looking 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is quietly changing lives. One recently sold for a jaw-dropping $834,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what makes this 1967 Lincoln penny so valuable, how to identify it, and why it could be sitting unnoticed in your drawer right now. But more importantly, you'll discover how these rare coins are unlocking financial freedom for everyday Americans. Before we dive in, ask yourself this: what would you do if you suddenly found nearly $1 million hidden in plain sight? Because by the end of this video, that question might not be hypothetical anymore. Let's start with the basics. The 1967 Lincoln penny was minted during a strange time in American coin history. The U.S. Mint had temporarily removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967 to discourage collectors from hoarding them. That's why this penny, though struck in Philadelphia, carries no mint mark. But not all 1967 pennies are created equal. Most are worth face value or a few cents in circulated condition. But a few, very few, contain extraordinary minting errors or rare variations that make them worth thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. Now here's the twist: some of these rare 1967 pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchets. For example, a Lincoln penny struck on a dime planchet or on a foreign coin blank. These minting errors are like hitting the jackpot in the world of coin collecting, and guess what? One of these rare error coins recently sold at auction for $834,000. Let that sink in. A coin that people often ignore, walk past, or toss in a change jar, turning out to be worth more than a Lamborghini. Now, how do you know if you have one? Let's talk signs. First, look at the weight. A normal 1967 penny should weigh 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs less, say 2.5 grams, you might be holding a penny struck on a dime planchet. Second, examine the edges. A coin struck on the wrong planchet may look slightly off-center or thinner than usual. That subtle difference could be worth six figures. And third, magnify the details. Some high-value 1967 pennies show doubling on Lincoln's profile or the word Liberty. This kind of doubling is known as a double die error, and it sends collectors into a frenzy. But here's where it gets urgent: these coins are disappearing, collectors are snatching them up. Auction houses are hunting them down. Every day, more of these pennies vanish from circulation forever. If you wait too long to check your collection, you might miss your shot. Now, let's pause for a moment, because I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth that much? Are we sure it's not April Fool's? Well, I'm not here to sell you a dream. I'm here to show you the truth. If you're serious about turning coins into cash, here's what you need to do next. First, check your change. Look in drawers, jars, old purses, coffee tins, wherever coins gather dust. You'd be surprised how many valuable pennies are hiding in plain sight. Second, get a scale and a magnifying glass. These two tools can change your life. With them, you can quickly weigh your pennies and scan for those rare and lucrative signs. Third, learn what makes a coin valuable. Rarity, condition, historical significance, and errors. The more you understand, the more opportunities you'll find. And finally, don't sell too fast. If you find something promising, get it professionally graded. Auction houses and collectors will pay a premium for authenticated, high-grade coins. Here's the truth: coins are not just metal. They're history. They're hidden wealth. They're waiting for the right person to recognize their value, and that person could be you. What if that jar of pennies sitting in your garage holds your freedom ticket? What if one moment of curiosity, just one, sets you on a path toward a life where you never worry about bills again? That's the power of rare coins. That's the power of knowledge. And if you've made it this far into the video, you're not here by accident. You're here because part of you knows there's more out there. That maybe, just maybe, your breakthrough is waiting in your pocket. So go check. Seriously. After this video ends, walk over to your change jar and look, because somewhere in America, someone will find that $1 million penny. Why not you? But what if I told you that an ordinary-looking 1982 Abraham Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, recently sold for an astounding $826,000? That's right. A coin you might have tossed into a jar, dropped in your car console, or left behind at the checkout counter could be your golden ticket. Let that sink in. This isn't just another story of rare collectibles. This is about overlooked American history, hidden value, and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And the best part? You might already own one. But before you go scrambling for your change jar, there's something you need to know, because the truth is, 1982 wasn't just another year for the Lincoln penny. It was a turning point, and very few people understand what really makes these coins so valuable. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to spot this incredibly rare penny, but you'll also understand why it's creating millionaires out of everyday Americans. Let's dive in. To understand the value of the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, we have to rewind the clock back to a time when the U.S. Mint made a quiet yet monumental decision. You see, in 1982, the Mint changed the very composition of the penny. Before that year, pennies were made primarily of copper. But due to rising metal costs, the government began switching to a cheaper zinc core coated in copper. Now, here's where things get fascinating. During this transitional period, both copper and zinc pennies were being struck at the same time. This led to a chaotic overlap of minting practices, creating variations, errors, and anomalies. Some pennies were struck in copper when they weren't supposed to be. Others missed critical details, like the mint mark, and that's where our hero enters the story. A small number of 1982 Lincoln pennies were struck without any mint mark, and in solid copper, not zinc. These were never meant to exist. Let that hit you for a second. A coin that shouldn't exist, that somehow slipped through the cracks, is now one of the most hunted Lincoln pennies in American numismatic history. And guess what? One of these was discovered in a random coin roll by someone who had absolutely no idea what they were holding. After being authenticated and graded, it went to auction, and fetched a jaw-dropping $826,000. Imagine that. You're sifting through old coins out of curiosity, and end up holding nearly $1 million in your hand. Makes you want to dig through your drawers, doesn't it? But don't rush yet, there's more you need to know if you want to find the right one. Quick question: when was the last time you actually looked at a penny instead of just handing it over like a useless token? Exactly. Most of us overlook them, but today, pennies are demanding attention, and rewarding those who pay it. Now, back to the 1982 mystery. Not every 1982 penny is worth a fortune. In fact, most are worth exactly 1 cent. But here's what makes the valuable one stand apart. First, check the date. It must read 1982. Next, look below the date. If there's no mint mark, meaning it doesn't have a small d for Denver or s for San Francisco, that's your first clue. Now, here's the tricky part. Weight: copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only 2.5 grams. You'll need a digital scale accurate to 2 decimal places. If your 1982 no mint mark penny weighs 3.11 grams, you might be holding a solid copper error, one of the few that could be worth hundreds of thousands. Let me repeat that. A simple 1 cent coin, with no mint mark, and the right weight, could be the rare $1 million piece, but remember, it must be authenticated. The coin that sold for $826,000 was verified by a top grading company and assigned a high mint state grade. Condition matters, but even lower grades can be worth tens of thousands. Now you're probably wondering, what if I told you that even fake versions of this coin are circulating, and that one small mistake in identification could cost you everything? We'll get to that. But first, let's talk about why buyers are paying so much for this coin. The reason the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny is fetching enormous prices isn't just rarity. It's scarcity with a story. It represents a transition in American coinage. A historical anomaly. And collectors, especially serious ones, will pay a premium for coins that should not exist. But there's more. This penny is now a status symbol. Owning one is like owning a piece of hidden American treasure. It tells the world, I was smart enough to find what others missed. And this is where your opportunity lies, because while most people ignore pennies, laugh at coin collectors, or throw change away, the smart ones, the ones who stop and think, are turning pennies into property, vacations, and even early retirement. And this market is hotter than ever. Just last year, dozens of 6-figure coins were sold to private collectors. The appetite for rare Lincoln cents is growing. And the 1982 no mint mark is near the top of every expert's watch list. Okay, real talk that if I told you a dollar bill could someday be worth $800,000, you'd laugh, but when a penny does it, quietly, behind the scenes, no one notices until it's too late. So here's the question: will you check your coins tonight, or will you let a fortune slip through your fingers? Look around your home. That coin jar. The dresser drawer. Even the old wallet you haven't touched in years, they might be hiding a life-changing treasure. All it takes is awareness, a little effort, and the courage to believe that something small can hold massive value. Not a gold coin. Not a diamond-encrusted treasure. Just a regular-looking copper coin from 1989. But here's the twist: it has no mint mark, and that tiny detail could change your life forever. Now the big question is, could you be holding one? Let's find out. In 1989, millions of Abraham Lincoln pennies were struck by the U.S. Mint. For most people, these coins are just spare change, left in drawers, forgotten in couch cushions, or dumped in vending machines, but hidden among them is a rare anomaly. A penny that defies expectations. A penny without a mint mark. Now, what does that mean? Typically, a mint mark tells you where a coin was produced. D for Denver. S for San Francisco. But a missing mint mark, in this case, is not an error, it's a clue. You see, Philadelphia minted coins often have no mint mark, but that's not the whole story here. The 1989 no mint mark penny we're talking about is not just another Philadelphia penny. It has specific traits, tiny imperfections, and subtle indicators that separate it from the rest, and collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to own one. Now you might be thinking, wait, it's just a penny. How can anyone pay $820,000 for it? Well, keep watching, because in a moment, I'll reveal exactly what makes this coin so incredibly valuable. But first, let's explore the emotional side of this discovery. Let's be honest. Most of us grew up hearing the phrase, "it's just a penny." But what if that penny could buy your dream home? Wipe out your debts? Send your kids to college, or even secure your retirement? The truth is, everyday people are finding these coins. Not coin dealers. Not wealthy collectors. Just regular Americans who happen to look a little closer, and when they do, everything changes. So, how do you know if your 1989 Lincoln penny is the jackpot? Here's what to look for. First, check for the absence of a mint mark just below the year on the obverse side. If there's no D or S, you're on the right track. Second, examine the condition of the coin. The most valuable ones are in near perfect condition, what collectors call MS 67 or higher. That's mint state. Crisp detail. No scratches. Sharp features. Third, and this is crucial, check for any die errors. These are unintentional mistakes made during the minting process. It could be doubling on the date, a misplaced design element, or even subtle distortions in Lincoln's profile. Now here's the cliffhanger. One particular 1989 no mint mark penny was recently sold at an astonishing $820,000. Why? Because it had a rare double die reverse, perfect luster, and flawless strike, a trifecta of perfection. But here's the kicker, only one of these is currently known to exist at this value. The next one could still be out there, and it could be sitting in your house, right now. Now before you go raiding your piggy bank or flipping over your couch cushions like a detective on a caffeine rush, let's pause. Ask yourself, when was the last time you actually checked your spare change? If your answer is, never. Or, last time I needed quarters for laundry, then my friend, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Let's talk urgency. Coins like this are being found less and less often. As more collectors hunt them down, the odds of finding one shrink dramatically. But here's the opportunity, most people never look. They assume these coins are rare to the point of impossibility. That mindset is what keeps life-changing money out of reach. Now, here's what you can do today. Step 1. Gather every penny from 1989 you can find. Check your drawers, boxes, pockets, and jars. Don't underestimate any of them. Step 2. Inspect them carefully. Use a magnifying glass if needed. Look for no mint mark, excellent condition, and any unusual features. Step 3. Consult a reputable coin dealer or send it for grading through trusted services like PCGS or NGC. If you think you've got something special, get it verified, and step 4, if you do find the right one, hold your ground. That coin could be worth a life-changing amount. Don't settle for the first offer unless it reflects the true value that you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck, that you're traveling. Investing. Leaving a legacy for your children or grandchildren, all because you took 10 minutes to check your change. This isn't fantasy. It's happening to people right now. And it could happen to you, but only if you act. You don't need luck. You need awareness. And now, you have it. The 1989 Lincoln penny with no mint mark could be your key to financial freedom. So what are you waiting for? But what if I told you that one specific 1991 Lincoln penny with no mint mark recently stunned the coin world, selling for an astonishing $814,000. Yes, over $800,000 for a coin that might be sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer or buried in an old jar in the garage. Still think pocket change is worthless? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to check if you have the $1 million penny, and what makes this simple 1991 coin so incredibly rare and valuable. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1991. Gas is just over $1. Michael Jordan is dominating basketball. And somewhere in the United States, a minting mistake is made. A small batch of pennies is struck in Philadelphia, but something's off. These coins are missing the mint mark, that little P that's supposed to appear just below the date. Now, most people wouldn't notice. Why would they? Pennies are so common, they practically vanish into our pockets without thought, but a few collectors did notice, and what they discovered would change the story of the Lincoln cent forever. Let's be honest, when was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked, probably the same day Blockbuster still rented VHS tapes, but here's the deal, the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a hidden treasure. A fluke of history. And it's quietly making millionaires out of everyday people. Now, let's break this down. Why is this penny worth more than some luxury cars? It's simple, scarcity plus demand equals value. The US Mint typically places a mint mark on coins to identify where they were produced. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But for pennies in 1991, Philadelphia mint marks were supposed to be present. However, a handful were struck without it. That missing mint mark instantly turned this penny into an anomaly. A mistake. A 1 in a million occurrence, and in the world of numismatics, mistakes are pure gold. The coin gained popularity among collectors, especially after one sold for $814,000 at auction, verified, authenticated, and graded as nearly flawless. The coin was a simple, everyday object, until someone paid nearly $1 million for it. And here's the kicker, there may be more out there. What if I told you that another uncirculated 1991 no mint mark penny could be sitting in a forgotten coin roll right now? Maybe even in your home. We're going to walk through how to identify it. But first, let's answer a crucial question. Why are coins like this changing lives? Because they prove that wealth doesn't always come from where we expect it. In a time where side hustles and investments are everywhere, sometimes the biggest wins are already in your possession. You just haven't looked closely enough. Imagine this. A single coin, found in a drawer, covers your mortgage. Pays off your debt. Sets up your retirement. That's not a fantasy. That's what's happening right now for people who recognize value before others do. Quick question: what's more painful, stepping on a Lego barefoot, or realizing you tossed out $1 million penny? Don't let it happen to you. Let's dive into how to spot the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and how to know if you're holding a fortune. First, look at the date. It must read 1991. Then, check just below the year. There should be no mint mark, not a D, not an S, not a P. Just a clean, smooth space beneath 1991. Next, examine the condition. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition are worth significantly more. Grading from professional services like PCGS or NGC can drastically impact value. Mint state 65 and above. That's when we start seeing big numbers. And remember, the $814,000 penny? That was a high-grade MS-68 red specimen. Color also matters. Bright red copper tones indicate excellent preservation. Brown or faded colors may still have value, but less. But what if your coin matches everything we just said? what's next? Don't go rushing to eBay just yet. There's a right way to sell a rare coin, and a wrong way that could cost you thousands. Coming up next, I'll reveal exactly what to do if you have this coin, including the auction houses, grading services, and expert steps that can secure you top dollar. And yes, we'll even talk about the number one mistake most people make when they think they've struck gold, and how it ruins everything. This isn't just about a 1991 penny. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. It's about a lifestyle shift, from average to extraordinary. Just by being aware of the value sitting right in front of you, you have the chance to be part of something incredible. But only if you take action. So after this video, go check your old change jars, coin rolls, and penny boxes. Examine every 1991 coin. Get your magnifier, take your time. If you even think you have one, get it graded, get it verified, because that next $814,000 penny, it might just be in your hand right now. Sounds insane, right? After all, it's just a penny. You probably wouldn't even pick one up off the street. But today, you might think twice. I end this video. We're diving into the unbelievable story of the 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin so ordinary, so common-looking, that millions of Americans unknowingly tossed it into jars, wallets, and junk drawers. But here's the twist. One rare variety of this penny has stunned the numismatic world with a mind-blowing market value of $804,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not 800. Not 8,000. $800,000. Stick with me, because I'm going to show you how to spot this rare coin, what makes it so valuable, and how to know if you're sitting on a life-changing fortune. Let's start with something most people overlook: no mint mark. The 1993 Lincoln penny was minted in large quantities, mostly in Philadelphia and Denver. But the Philadelphia versions often came without a mint mark. Normally, that would be unremarkable. But here's where the magic happens. In rare cases, some 1993 no mint mark pennies were struck using experimental planchets, copper zinc blanks that were never meant to be used. These planchets had slight weight differences, unusual luster, and microscopic die alignment issues. Why does this matter? Because collectors go crazy for errors. Especially errors the US Mint didn't catch. A man in Pennsylvania brings a handful of pennies to a coin dealer. One coin catches the dealer's eye. Slightly off-center. A strange sheen. No mint mark. They run some tests. A few phone calls later, that single penny is auctioned for over $804,000. 1 cent, less than the cost of a paperclip, sold for more than the average American home. Feeling a little nervous yet? You should be. Because this coin is still out there. Possibly in your house. In your car's cup holder. Even in your kid's piggy bank. And here's the kicker: the US Mint never acknowledged the mistake. That makes these pennies even more mysterious. Even more valuable. Okay, pause for a second. Let me ask you this: when's the last time you actually looked at a penny before tossing it aside? Let me guess, never. If you're like most people, you're probably thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But remember, just a few years ago, people laughed at Bitcoin too. Now look at them. Now, let's zoom in. How do you actually spot one of these fortune-making coins? I'll break it down clearly, because knowing these signs could be the difference between walking past a fortune, or cashing in on one. Number 1, the coin should be a 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark under the date. Number 2, examine the luster. These rare coins have a slightly different surface, less glossy than typical copper-plated zinc pennies. Number 3, look closely for minor die errors. These may include weak strikes, slightly misaligned prints, or even doubled letters in Liberty or In God We Trust. Still with me? Because this is where it gets real. If you suspect you have one of these coins, do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. You could erase thousands of dollars in value with one swipe. Instead, place it in a protective case and have it evaluated by a certified numismatic professional. PCGS and NGC are two of the most trusted grading services. Once graded, these coins can be auctioned to elite collectors through reputable platforms like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, and yes, collectors are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for this penny. Not because of its metal. Not because of its face value. But because of the story, the rarity, and the mistake that wasn't supposed to happen. Imagine explaining to your neighbor that you just paid off your mortgage, with a penny. Hey Jim, remember when you said I was wasting my time looking through coins? Well, guess who just bought a lake house? This is your chance to step into a hidden world. A world where something as small as a penny could unlock the life you've always dreamed of. No one expects to find a treasure in their spare change. But the truth is, treasures don't come labeled. They come disguised. There's urgency here. Every year, thousands of these coins disappear forever. Spent. Lost. Destroyed. And with every one that vanishes, the value of the remaining few rises. So start searching. Go through your drawers. Check your old jars. Look behind the cushions, because one penny can change everything. And if you want more real stories about rare coins, secret finds, and how everyday people are turning spare change into six-figure fortunes, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started.